folks, Joe Baker doing a rundown on today's market action as well as the S&P levels for tomorrow's trading. Okay, what did we do? We went down, okay, and down on Wednesday on 2.1 million. We come up on 1.8. I want to make a special note too. The actual stock exchanges, the NYSE volume, the NASDAQ volume, Dow volume, all of it extremely, extremely light. You don't want to see rallies on light volume, okay? Albeit I said I wanted to see volume come into this market in last night's video to get some move to the downside, and that would confirm it and make me feel a little more warm and fuzzy about the short side. We did not get any accelerated volume. We actually got decelerating volume, and the market moved the opposite direction. Highly, highly suspect. Albeit we did not take out the higher highs. We stayed at least under that 1304.75 area. So we are staying within the confines of this downtrending channel. So tomorrow I would expect, I'm going to expect the 1304.50 to 1307 to hold anyway. We'll see if that plays true. This light volume really is suspect. Keep in mind too that 1292.50 area, and that's this area right here. We're sitting right atop of it. It also happens to be the 50 period moving average on the daily. So not only is it a key number, and it has been a key number for these prior swing highs on this entire run back up from this big downtrend we've been in, it actually happens to work out that it's the irony of it, it's actually the 50 period moving average, which is a big moving average. So getting underneath the 92.50, 83, okay, is the next area of any significance. And that darn 75 I warned about a couple of days ago, and then we hit the 74.50 and bounced 20 points. Today we hit the 75.25 and bounced quite a bit again. We bounced another 15 points off that. So thank God we were long in the room. We have used that area as support both times, and it's proven very effective. However, again, a break of it, okay, we will watch a break of that to be very effective to the downside, most likely down to that 67 area if it ever does happen, and then ultimately down to the 50 area. But at any rate, we're looking for, again, just a series of lower highs and lower lows to take place over these next few trading days, unless something happens with oil. I know we do have some conflict out there between Georgia and Russia and so forth, and I guess we're sending some troops out there. So anything can happen in this market, and as we know, the geopolitical issues do have an influence, and we'll just take it as it goes. We do use those lines in the sand in the daily, the intraday levels to keep us kind of humbled on our opinions, so that we don't get caught listening to the news, because as we all know, the news itself is, if you trade off news, you're definitely a goner. So at any rate, this is what we're looking for. Again, downtrend channel still in effect. This 92.50, keep your eyes peeled on this baby. She is a tough one to crack. And if she does, we'll be looking at 83 to the downside, and then 75. You can see where I'm getting these levels here. These are pretty strong levels. The volume oscillator still is red, so there is some selling coming into this market, albeit the market was up. And again, up on light volume. Okay, we're going to shoot over to the intraday pivots. And here we are with the intraday pivots. 1294, line in the sand, looking for higher levels above 1294. Pivot 1297.25. Breakout 1299.75. Unfortunately, we have a pivot at 1301.25. That was actually a pivot from yesterday, And as we know, we got to 1,375 before we rolled over. So we came 2 ticks from that. So that's going to be another area of resistance, okay? And then we have 1304.75 should prove to be a very strong area of resistance as well. A break above that, I will expect this market to run a little bit because that is the prior high. 1303.50 I believe was the prior swing high, and the 1304.75 is a big number. And then we've got 1307.50 and the ultimate target for 1312. Now underneath the 1294 we've got that darn 1292.50, and then a break of that I expect. To be honest with you, there's really not much underneath this, down to 87.50. That actually happens to be our breakdown. And then we've got 85.50, 83, going to prove to be a little bit of a tough one. 80, not too bad. And then again, the ultimate target is 1274.75 with a possible extension breakdown to 1272.75. These two levels here, the 75 and the 72, massive levels, very, very strong. So we'll see if we can get down to that area tomorrow, possibly get a good break to the downside. Fridays have been typically sell days. If you go back and look over the past few months, if you go back 3 or 4 months, you will see that Fridays have been, with the exception of a few, mostly sell days. So going into the weekend with the geopolitical issues, I think most people don't want to be long, and I think that obviously with the issues going on out in Georgia and Russia, maybe that would be a reason to sell stock in case of a major conflict over the weekend. But at any rate, we will discuss this on Sunday evening, and trade careful, guys. Always hard stops. Don't ever marry a trade. Again, I say it every time, we've got thousands of trades ahead of us. Why marry this one? Okay, guys, take care, and I will talk to you on Sunday night.